Okay class, welcome back. Today we will now discuss lab number 2, which is about the basic operations regarding the images. So let's open it. So when you download it from the SharePoint, just save it somewhere on your computer, maybe on the desktop, and then you can open it, but you have to open it from the Jupyter. So Jupyter should be open. These files will not open directly, remember this. So this is the lab number 2. Here we have the this lab will be about some basic operations we will do on the images using mostly OpenCV. So till now we saw in the last lecture that we will be dealing with some packages or libraries inside the Python software. So remember, packages or libraries are a common concept. They exist in Java, they also exist in C++. If you remember, in C++ you use the instruction on the top of the file include, you put the hash sign and then include, and then you write stdio or stream, or there were many different types of libraries. So here also the basic Python is good, but for many things we need some extra libraries. So in this course mainly we cover three libraries: Numpy, CV2 and Matplotlib. If you remember, during the installation I focused at that time that you need to install CV2. CV2 is a special library that works, that is dedicated for computer vision, whereas Numpy and Matplotlib, they are simple commonly existing libraries. They are already installed in Jupyter or in any Python software. They are already available. CV2 is, you need to install. So what is NumPy? NumPy is basically the short for numeric Python. So num means numeric and py is Python. Numeric Python means that it is something related to numbers. So it is used for efficient numerical calculations and to create lists and matrices and to solve them efficiently. And the details are quite complex. We will not go into details, but remember, NumPy, we will be using it a lot for matrices creation and lists and some other things. Then we have the CV2. CV2 is short for CV Open Computer Vision version 2 library. So OpenCV, CV2 is the short form for OpenCV version 2. So OpenCV means open means open source computer vision library version 2. What does the word open source mean? So open, let me change it here. So it is open source, not open. No, not here. So open source is a term used in software a lot. It means that this library, its original code is given. Many companies, when they make something, they don't give the code. For example, Windows, when they make the window, Microsoft, when they make the window or they make the software like Microsoft Office, MS Word, MS Excel, they don't share the code for that software with anyone. They don't want to others to change it or to do anything. That is called normally as proprietary. That is the that belongs to some company. Open source is opposite. Open source means that anyone can see the source code or the code of that software, and anyone can edit it or change it. So OpenCV is also openly available. Everything is open. Nothing is hidden. There is no company that has a claim that they can only use it. So it's free, anyone can use it without paying any money. So it's not like MATLAB. That's the reason it's very popular. MATLAB is expensive. That's why MATLAB is becoming less used both in universities and also in the industry. So it is the main package that contains a lot of functions, and we use it over here to implement different computer vision algorithms as we discussed in the class. And then the third library is Matplotlib. If you have completed the data camp assignments, you know a little bit about Matplotlib. Matplotlib is used for plotting. That's why the name is given over here. The name abbreviation is not given. I should write it somewhere. So it's Matplotlib is short for matrix plotting library. Matplotlib. Lib is library. So matrix plotting library. That's why Matplotlib. So matrix, what does it mean? Matrices are used a lot for different reasons. We know it. So matrices we have seen a lot at many places. So matrices are also closely related to the images. Okay. So it is used a lot for printing images and also to print matrices and some other things. It is used mainly for displaying graphs, images, and it's very powerful. We will be using it mostly. So to get started with the images, we will be discussing over here how to import images, how to draw them, how to display them. Okay, so the goal over here in this lab number 2, is that we will learn how to read an image. So image, there is an image file, any image file that you make with your mobile phone camera or that you download from the internet. So from your other courses, you must know by now, because remember this is a senior level course, you should know that images can be like JPG, they can be like PNG or some other form. You can use any image format over here. So you read that image file using this using the functions, and then you will learn how to display them correctly, and also if you modify them, how to save them. So basically there are 3 functions for this purpose in CV2. I am read means image read, I am write is image write, and I am show is image show. So we will learn about them, and we will also learn alternatively how to show images in Matplotlib. So how to read an image? To read an image, the CV2 library. So remember, CV2 is a library. Library means it is just like in your university's library, you have lots of books. Okay, books help you. Similarly, in the computer programming library, there are a lot of functions. So functions, they help us to do something. Depending on the library, type of the library, functions will do something. Okay, so in CV2, the library CV2, the functions are related mostly to deal with images in different ways. So one of the function is I am read. I am read means to read an image. So image, to access it easily, it should be in the same working directory where you have your Jupyter notebook file. Now this is the number 1 mistake. Students, they come to me and they ask questions many times. They don't bother, else I would say they become lazy. They don't care. They throw their page, the Jupyter notebook anywhere on the computer. Then they throw the image file anywhere else, and then they are fighting all the time in the programming. So try to be smart. When you want to do some assignment, make sure that you know where you have saved your file. So when you download from the file from the internet, from SharePoint, normally it is saved in the downloads folder. So here you will know, for example, here is my file, IPYNB is the file type, and this is the file name, lab2 basic operations, and this file is stored in computer vision folder inside the courses folder. That's it. Before that, that's a generic path. That's common for everyone. So there is courses folder, inside courses folder there is computer vision folder, and then there is this file. Now the image that you want to read, it must be in the computer vision folder. Okay, you can make another subfolder, but normally it should be in the same level if you want to easily access it. If you throw the image somewhere else, don't expect that it will work for you. So this is it, how to read. You will just use this function, and this function, it will use only one input over here, one input that is must, required input. It is the file path or file address. So here is an example. Let's go to this example. Here is the function img.imread, and then over here you provide messy5.jpg. So messy5.jpg is the file name, and if you don't provide anything before that, it means that this file is inside this folder, computer vision, directly inside this folder. Clear? Now there is another option over here after the comma, second input. The second input that is available, the second argument, it is a flag. Flag means it is some sort of option that you give. It specifies the way image should be read. There are three options you can read the image. You can read it as a color image, you can read it as a black and white or grayscale image, and you can read it as it is unchanged. We will be using mostly the number 2 option, grayscale, but we will work a little bit only today with the color images. Okay. This one, the first one, is the default flag. If you don't provide this option, for example, if you don't write (0), then in that case the image will be loaded as a color image by default. Okay. Instead of, for these three options, you can also provide over here as the second argument or second input, you can provide over here after the comma, you can provide -1, 0 or 1. So 1 means color, 0 means grayscale, and -1 means the third option, unchanged. But normally it is not a good practice that you write numbers like this, 0, 1 or -1. Why it is not good? Because after 6 months, if you use your code again, maybe you forget that what does 0 mean. So it's not a good practice to use numbers that represent something. So what we should do is that CV2 provides us, instead of these numbers, it provides us the constants defined in the CV2 library. Okay. So I will show you at that time, a little later I will show you practically, then it will be more clear. So we can write the name of these constants like over here, imread underscore color or underscore grayscale or underscore unchanged. Basically these this text in full capital, it does not mean anything else, it is just representing the constant 0. Okay. Pause it. If it's not clear, go through this video again. Very important. Second step that can come after reading an image, it is how to write an image. Writing an image is very simple. You will use the imWrite function, and there are two things you must provide. You will provide the name of the file, what file name you want to give to your image. Okay, you can give any file. So for example, you loaded the image messy5.jpg. It was an image, and now you want to save it as a gray image. You say messy gray.png. You can give any new name, and img is the variable that has this image. So for example, this is the image variable. This image variable contains the image. Now you want to save it. Okay. So let me show you first. These are a lot of things, then we will come. So here it is, the example, how it works. Over here I will load it. So when I load, if there is no error, it means that it will work, it's correct. So I'm loading over here two libraries for now, CV2 and import CV2 and import matplotlib.pyplot. What does this mean? It means that matplotlib, it has a sub library pyplot, and I want to use that sub library. So just like in your university's library, there are many different sections inside the library. One bookshelf is for engineering books, one is for medical books, one is for computer science book, and one is for business books. So similarly, there are many sections in this library. It's very big library. We only use the pyplot section of the matplotlib library. Clear? So this is it, and then we write over here the word as plt. As means that I want to represent this whole sentence by a shortcut. So plt is the shortcut. In the future I want to use plt only. I don't want to use this whole name. When the name of the library is very small, like CV2, well, no problem, I will use CV2 every time. For example, here I write cv2.imread. But every time I can't write this big name. So for that purpose, I give it a small name. So this is optional. You can give it any name, but normally in the practice, in the industry, everywhere plt is used. So here you see, I define it as plt, and then I can use plt.imshow. Clear? So this is it, how we import the libraries. Then there is this step you have to do only one time. Remember, normally when you want to do an assignment or you want to run a library, a lab work, you will do it only at the start of the page. On the top you will run it one time. Then there are two more commands over here that you see. What does it mean? These are interesting. They are called magic commands. This is not programming. The thing that comes over here, it's magic command. So magic command means that it is asking the Jupyter to do something. It is asking the Jupyter that show the images. The matplotlib is used for images. So it is asking that show the images inline. Inline means as part of the web page. So here is an image that is shown to you. It is part of the web page. Okay. There is another option given over here. You can also show the images as a notebook. As a notebook also shows over here, but in that case, when you move the mouse over the image, it will show you the pixel values, which pixel value the mouse is over. You can try both of them one by one. You can only use one of them. So this sign over here, the hash sign, it is making it is used as a comment. So when I have this thing over here, it means this line is now commented out. It is not read, not used. Okay. So here is the line cv2.imread. Now if you see over here, if there is a dot, after the dot, when I press the tab key, so the tab button, which is above the caps lock, when I press this button, now I will see a lot of options over here. So in this options, if I go to I, or if I press I, for example, then automatically it will show me the commands starting with I. So it will show me, so there are lots of commands from D. Let me search with I. So now it is with I. So here it's showing me in the I commands, and this is imread. See, imread. Imread is for image read. Here I give it the path, and here I give the option how I want to read it. Clear? Now there is one important thing over here. The image that I loaded, this is the image called peppers.png. So pepper is this vegetable. Okay, I want to load it, but I have stored this file, this image, inside the images folder. So it is not inside the computer vision folder. Inside the computer vision folder, there is another folder called images, and inside that images folder I have this file. So it will be, say, loaded like this. Clear? So when you load it, Now it is ready. Here when you will write, I save it in a variable called peppers1. When you load this peppers1, it will show you like this. So it is like an array, but it is a two-dimensional array, so it's like a matrix. So remember from your other courses, like from media computation, that images are saved as matrices. And here you see at the end that the type of these values inside the matrix, it is uint8. Uint8 means unsigned integer, which is 8-bit. So remember, 8-bit means that the integer can have the values from 0 until 2 power 8, which is 255. So the values can go from 0 to 255. This is the same thing you studied many times in media computation. Clear? So this was the command to read the images. After the reading, we can also save the image by using this command. We are not using this too much, but you will be interested to do it somewhere for your project. So cv2.imWrite, give the name of the image that you want to give and the variable that you want to save as image. Okay. So when you want to display the image, now for the displaying, we don't use cv2.imShow. The OpenCV function cv2.imShow is very complex. Before, if someone has seen the old lab notes over there was a lot of detail about the cv2.imShow. That is a lot complex. I have removed all those things. Clear? Now the imShow we are going to use, it will be from the Matplotlib library. So we cv2 imShow function is very complex, and normally it will open the image as a separate window, not inside the same file. And that's why we will be using Matplotlib, which is a separate Python library. So Matplotlib is a very comprehensive library, means it's very large, detailed. It can be used to create static, not changing, and interactive or animated visualizations in Python. So they can be used to create graphs, they can be used to create images and many more things. So they can create high quality or publication quality images, but they can also create graphs, both simple two-dimensional graphs and also 3D graphs. They can print the images and they can also save them, just like imWrite. They can also save them using in different formats like JPG, PNG or PDF. You can save them. Okay. Inside the Matplotlib, we will be using a sub-library, as I explained earlier, called pyplot. Okay, this is the way how we import the Matplotlib command. PLT is the commonly used name to utilize this library in the code, but it's not a must, it's optional. So what is the imShow command? In the imShow command that we want to use from the Matplotlib, it can have many options, but there is first input or option that is must. It is the image. So imShow, the first argument or input is the image that you must provide. So it will try to display that image to the user. All the other arguments that are in this function, they are optional, they are not required. One of those options is called CMap, which is the short for color map. It defines how you want to display the image. You want to display the image as a color image or as a black and white image. Clear? So here is a small example. It's like a complete example you see. So you import cv2 and Matplotlib, and then you use cv2 to read the image, and then you display this image over here. There are many more things in Matplotlib and also in cv2. For example, here in Matplotlib, you can hide, for example, if you see this image, on the sides of the images, you see the numbers that are normally shown on the graphs. Numbers on y-axis and x-axis. You can hide these numbers using this command over here. So you can say xticks and you give it an empty array, and yticks with empty array. It will hide the tick values on x and y axis. Sometimes also you need to use the plt.show, but we will be using plt.imshow, the image show, whereas the simple plt show is used to show the graphs. Clear? So this was the command over here. We saw the imRead and imShow is simple. Just write the name of the variable and then you write down that how you want to display this image, gray or color. Clear? Now the next thing is that the conversion we have done till now, we use the images, we use the imRead from the CV2 and we use the imShow from the PLT. We don't use the CV2 imShow because that is very complex. Now there are some problems also. These problems mostly come from the CV2 side. So the color images that are loaded by the OpenCV, they are in BGR mode. From your media computation course, you should remember that computer normally saves the images as RGB. So it saves the images as 3 separate matrices. This is for the color image. The color images are saved as 3 separate matrices. Okay. Those 3 matrices are in this sequence: red first and then green and then blue. But the OpenCV, it somehow works in a different way. When you want to load an image using cv2.imRead, it loads the color image in this format. Blue is first, then green and then red. So it is BGR, not RGB. Now this is a big problem. What to do? Why it is a problem? Let's say I load a color image. So to load a color image, I will give this option over here, cv2.imRead_color. Remember all the constants that CV2 uses, CV2 provides those constants in capital letters. And second thing is, for example, the constant I need is related to the imRead function. So it will be given like this, cv2.imRead. So this is the function name underscore the name of the constant. So here the name of the constant is color. So basically this whole thing is equal to 1. It is nothing else. So let me put a cell over here and I can use it. I can show you cv2.imRead. So here I write. So these are all the constants that are available for imRead function. So the color constant, if I press over here to run it, it will show me that this is a number, this is a variable that is equal to 1. Clear? So it's basically 1 over here. So this is it. When you save it as peppers2, for example, and then you try to display it, now something interesting happens. It will show you the colors in opposite. Green color is not disturbed, but the other colors are somehow reversed. For example, if an object had red color, for example, you see over here the pepper is in red color, it becomes blue. And if it has a blue color, somewhere in this picture there is no blue color, blue will become red and red will become blue. That's the only change. So to deal with this thing, how to solve this problem? In this course we will not be using color images, so you don't need to worry, but at least you should have some idea. The idea is how to solve this problem. Make a conversion from BGR to RGB. What you do is that you will use the CV2 function. CV2 gives a function for this thing. It is called CVT color. Okay. You will provide it an image, and then you will provide what you want to do. So you provide the image, for example this image, which is stored as BGR, and then you will explain over here what you want to do. So you will say that I want to change this color from BGR to RGB. So when you do this, it is stored now in a new variable called peppers underscore new. So when you show the peppers underscore new, it's a normal color. That's it. This is what you should know. So you should know these ideas. They are important for your exam. Remember, in the exam, questions come from both theory slides and also from the lab. Clear? So this was one example. Another example for your practice, you can try yourselves also. For example, this is another image where you see over here, this is the tree leaves, and they are in red color, so they are shown over there in blue color. And this is again the problem of IM read from CV2. So to solve it, I just use the command cv2.cvt color, and then I ask to convert it, and it will show me the correct colors. But from now onward, we will only be dealing, in the whole course, we will only be dealing with the grayscale images, no color images. Clear? So take a minute, go through all these notes that I explained, and try to grasp it. If it's not clear, pause it here and ask questions in the group. Now the next thing, in this lab we will be doing some basic operations on images, a lot of basic operations. Okay, so I want you to go through these things very quickly. They are not computer vision. They are the tasks that will only help us in computer vision. So for example, I give you the first task. So there is a lab assignment for this lab, and look carefully for these things over here, and then you will do those tasks over there. So task 1 is you load this picture from your images. So remember, on your SharePoint there is an images folder as a compressed zip file. Download it, and you have a lot of images over there. You can only use those images in this course. Okay, don't try to load images anywhere else from the internet. So you load the picture, which is frizzy.png from the images folder, and must load it as a grayscale image. And then I want you to cut only the eyes area. How to cut it? This is explained over there in the data camp also. We will see again here. So I load it. So I use the CV2 import, and then I load it as a grayscale, and then I display initially. So when I display it, you can clearly see that on one side of the axis, so it is a little bit confusing. One side is called X and one is Y. You just have to experiment with which one it is. So I think it is this side is X and this side is Y. But you will easily know. You can try and you will see. So here you see on one side, the eyes, they start over here around 90 and they finish around maybe 160 or 70. Okay, and on the other axis, the eyes, they start at 160 maybe. This is just my guess. Okay, so you can try yourself different values. You will definitely get mistakes, and you can correct those mistakes. It's not a big deal. So here what I do is that on this side I start with from 150 or 60, and then I go until 340 or 50. So how to cut this much portion from the image? We will be using the indexing technique in Python. Indexing technique means that for the image array, I just write over here the brackets, square brackets, and then I put over here the values that I want to cut. the first axis and then the second axis. Clear? This is how it works. So when I load it, for example, so these images are not loaded. Let me load them all. So when I load it, here I will change the values. I am not happy with these values. Maybe I would like it to be starting from 90 and until 165 maybe. Okay, so let's try. So it is this. Now it's good. So now it's showing the complete eyes. Now you can play with these values. It's up to you. So this was our first task. Second task is I ask you, for example, to print a particular value of a pixel. So remember, image is made up of pixels. So let's say I say that print the value of the pixel which is in the second row and third column. Second row, remember the row numbers start from 0, not 1. So second row means you will write over here the row is 1 and the column is third, which means 0, 1 and 2. 2 is the third. Okay. So when I want to print the second row and third column pixel, I will write like this: img2 1, 2. Okay. So when I load this image and then over here I print this pixel, the value comes out to be 35. So this is what is expected from you. Simple task. Third task. For third task I use another image from the images folder. It is called frumer.png, and what I want to do is that I want to draw two horizontal lines above and below the car. So it is this Frumer image is of a car, and I want to draw a line above the car and one line below the car. Sometimes the line color will be explained to you even in black and white. You can discuss that your line will be black color, white color, or maybe some shade of gray color. Clear? So this is it. This is the third task. How to do this? For this purpose, now there is some new function that I get. The new function over here, that line. Now don't panic if something is asked that you don't know. Just copy it, go to the Google cv2.line, and it will show you different options. First link is from some site, Geeks for Geeks. No. Second one is docs.opencv.org. In the last lab I explained that this is the official website of OpenCV. So click on this and it will open the documentation of circle. Not this circle, I want a line. So line will be on this page somewhere. You have two options. Either you use Control F, search, and then you type over here L-I-N-E. No, sorry, E. When you write like this, it shows 172 values are there. So I will click on this, go next, circle, it is still circle, and somewhere it will show you in the future line. So still it's clip line, not a line. Keep on going and somewhere it will show you the line that you want. It's difficult like this. I will go back on the top, and here on the side it will show you that the line, the functions that are for drawing, there are many types of functions: circle, clip line, ellipse, and one of them is line over here. This is it. So click on this, it will bring you over here. It will give you the function syntax in C++ and also in Python. So remember I told you OpenCV library was initially made for C++, but it's now more popular in Python. So what does it mean? How to read this over here? It shows over here cv2.line, and these are the inputs given. The inputs that are given directly, they are must. You have to provide them. And the inputs that are given in brackets, square brackets, they are optional. So to make a line, you need to provide an image on which you want to draw a line. And then you must provide the starting point of the line. So point means x and y values, and the ending point of the line. And also you have to provide the color of the line. So line color. Okay. So here it is how I will do it. So one example is given over here. So these 4 arguments are must and others are optional. So here I do it like this. I draw 2 lines. So you see the example above and below. The above line, I write over here img3. So img3 is this image that I loaded for the Frumer. And for this image, I over here draw a line from 50, 200. So 50, 200, you see it is, I think it is this point. So 50 is on the x axis and y is 200. And from this point, I draw the line until this point, which is 450, half of this, and 200. Clear? So you see over here, I draw a line where 200 and 200, y is constant. So when y is constant, same, not changing, then the x is changing. So the line is 100% horizontal line. I hope it's clear. So this is the starting of the line, end of the line, and then the third thing over here, these 3 are together. These gives the color of the line. So color of the line is represented over here as something called as tuple. So tuple is a data type in Python which represents some values that come together. We cannot separate them. So we put small parentheses, and these parentheses represent the tuple. So tuple over here, it is 255, 255 and 255. So it is basically one value that is shown over here. Okay. So 3 times 255 means that red is 255, green and blue are 255. It means that the color is white color. So I draw it like this over here. Clear? And then the last option was optional, but this decides the thickness of the line. You can play with it. You can see, draw thicker or thinner lines yourself. Clear? So this is it. This is the line function. And then the fourth task is that you use the same image, and this time you will draw a rectangle on the car image. To draw the rectangle, first of all I load the image, and to draw the rectangle the command is given here. You can search it on the OpenCV docs and draw the rectangle. Now it is interesting, it is different from any other place. So to draw the rectangle, I start from the top left corner. Top left or bottom right? Let me remember. No, I start from this corner. So you will provide the 2 corners of the rectangle. One is this corner and the other is this top corner. And the rest of the things are done automatically, because only you need to give is 2 sides of the rectangle, 2 corners of the rectangle. Others are fixed, because remember, a rectangle has a 90-degree angle. So if I give this point, this is already clear. If I give this point, the other value of this point is clear. Okay. So I give these points 40 and 190 is this point, and 450 and 30 is this point. So I give these points, and then I give the color of the rectangle and the thickness of the line, which is 3. It will draw this rectangle around the car. If you have any question for this, you can come to the group. We will discuss. Clear? Then the next task, task number 5 that we want to do, it is the task for drawing a circle using OpenCV. Now for circle, just as you can think now, For a line we have a function, for rectangle we have another function, now for circle we will have another function. I want to draw a circle on this bicycle, and I want to draw a circle over here on the rear wheel. So for this purpose I use the circle command. So circle command, you will give it the image, you will give it the center of the circle, from where you want to start the circle. So this is the center of the circle, and then I will give the radius around which I want to draw. So radius from the center to the corner. Clear? And then again, last option is over here, you provide the color of the circle. So clear, here it is. I think the -1 over here, it shows that I will fill the circle. If it is a positive number, it will not fill the circle, it will show the thickness of the circle. Yeah, -1 means fill the circle, else a positive value will make a thicker border of the circle. Clear? So here it is how it works, and it draws a circle. I hope it's very simple. You will easily understand. Try to do this practice on different things. For example, you take this car image and try to make a circle over here. And the last task is that you can also use OpenCV to write text on the image. And for this we have a command cv2.putText. So put text, what it does, you provide it an image, you provide it the text, you can give any text that you want to write. I think the text should be in English. I don't know, you can try to write the Arabic text. I don't remember. And then you will provide the starting point of the text, means that the upper left corner. So for example, I want to write the OpenCV. So what is the position of this place over here? So let me load this image, and I load it here. So here it is. So what it does is that OpenCV, it will be started, it will start writing the OpenCV from position number 100 and 200. This corner, the top left corner of the text box, it is 100 and 250. Clear? It is top left or the bottom bottom right, bottom left. I think it's bottom left. Here it is, 100 and 250, this one. And then there are some other options. For example, what font should be used? Don't disturb this, use the same thing. And then there is the thickness of the text you write over here. And then there is color of the text you write over here. Clear? So you can write any text like this. So these are the 6 tasks. Go through them slowly. Practice them yourself over here. And then you have an assignment that you will submit exactly after the Eid holidays. The first class after the Eid, the first day after the Eid holidays. The assignment is this, I explained. So here it is, assignment page. Remember, for assignment 1, if you have already downloaded, download it again from the SharePoint, because I have changed the top of the page, and now I have put a line over here, and on the top there is the student name and student ID column. So here you will provide your name, full name, and your ID, and there is due date written also. So when you want to submit the assignment, you will print this page, and only format I accept for assignment or anything is PDF. You will submit a PDF to me. So what are the tasks? Tasks are simple. Same things that were given over there, same thing you will do over here. For example, task number 1 is you load the picture from the images folder monalisa.png, and first of all show it as the complete picture, and in the second step you will only show me the head of the Mona Lisa. Okay, only the head you will cut it using slicing options. That's first assignment, first task. Second task is you have to display or print the pixel number 200 200th row and 300th column. So remember 200th row, what does it mean? Be careful. And the image from where I want to do this, it is moon.png. Task number 3 to do is, there is an image called octagon.png. Most of you should remember that octagon is a shape in geometry which has 8 sides. So for that octagon shape, load that shape, and for each side of the octagon you have to draw one line. So there you have to draw 8 lines on the border of the octagon shape. Clear? Then the task number 4, it is to load again the octagon image, octagon.png, and this time you draw a big rectangle which is bigger than the octagon, and octagon comes inside the rectangle. Clear? You can choose any size which is bigger than octagon. Task number 5, you will load another image called shapes.png. Now this shapes.png is an interesting image. It contains lots of circles. And what you have to do is that you will choose any 10 circles from that shape and you will draw a circle over those images. 10 circles you will draw, 10 circles minimum. And last task for this whole assignment is that you load the Mona Lisa image again, and under the image, below the image, you will write Mona Lisa in the center. Vertically, horizontally in the center, but under the image vertically. Clear? So this is your assignment. Do it neatly. Neatness has a lot of marks. When you print it, make sure your one question comes on one page. The questions are not cut at the end of the page. You don't, it shouldn't happen like this, that one question is a little bit on one page and then the rest of the question is on another page. It's not a good thing. So this is it, and you have to submit this assignment until 3rd of August. So I will be waiting till that time. So I say good luck to you all.